Welcome to another Verbling class. Tonight's class, describe what you see. We'll look at events and items. Hi, Anna, I didn't see you there.
Hi,
How are you?
how have you been? I'm fine, thank you for asking you.
You know, I'm okay. We've got a holiday coming up here, and I'm looking forward to that.
All right. Uh, it will be Independence Day, right?
Nope, Canada's not independent.
Oh, sorry, I thought you were American. Which holiday?
Canada Day,
And when?
Wednesday.
All right. So I hope that you enjoy your holiday.
You know, I really hope I do as well. Should be fun. Did you have a good weekend?
Yes, I had a barbecue yesterday. What do you usually do on this day?
Wow, let's see if I can find, make sure I'm broadcasting. I want to make sure that I'm broadcasting. Just give me a sec. Sometimes does it say rejoin class? Yes, okay, so I am broadcasting. People are just a little late. Let me see if I can find the flyer that can tell you everything about it. Aurora Canada Day events. See here, I can share out the screen. Aurora. No, it's hard. I can't find it. I know that we have fireworks, we have free food, all sorts of wonderful stuff. Bands are be playing or presenting, so it should be a lot of fun.
Nice.
And I see, hold on a second, I see Raphael. Oh, now everybody's coming in. All right, so we're going to get started soon, guys. I forgot my phone, and I need my phone to keep track of everybody's talk time, so give me a second, guys. Sorry about this. Raphael, how are you?
Hello, Simon. I'm fine, thanks for asking, and you?
I'm good, thanks. So good to have you. I don't see you nearly as often as I used to, so it's good to have you in class.
Yes, good to be here too. Fortunately, our schedules are not matching lately.
No, but you know what? And again, sorry I'm moving around, guys. I forgot my timer here. This week I have 7 classes so far, and I might even add more.
Oh, that's nice. Very busy week.
Well, it's very busy, but it's not too. So I have 1 day off, and my wife is back now after traveling, so I can relax a little bit. So, and I don't have as many private tutor sessions right now, so it gives me a chance to do what I enjoy most, so which is teaching to groups. So thank you so much, Raphael, for joining us. And we're going to go ahead and get started. I just see Amp has joined us. Hello, Amp.
Hi, teacher. How are you?
I'm doing great. I really am.
Nice to see you.
Thank you. Good to see you too. Have you had a good week? I haven't seen you in a few days.
Yeah, it's a nice week. Just everything is fine.
Good. Excellent. Well, we'll get started shortly. Mustafa, hello.
Hello, teacher. How are you?
Good. Where are you from, Mustafa?
I'm from Iraq.
Iraq. So I guess it's about 7 hours in the future. So it's 5 o'clock here. What time is it there?
Now it is 12 a.m.
12 a.m. Well, Tuesday morning for you. So Mustafa is a time traveler. He lives in the future, and it's Tuesday where he is. All right. Well, thank you very much, Mustafa. We're going to get started, guys. I see there's a few of you that are new to my class. So here's what we do. I'm going to share out screen, well, a particular screen here, and you can see I have some images here. So what I'm going to have you do, okay, I'm going to have to mute you, Natasha. I'm getting some feedback sound there. So we'll each take about a minute, well, exactly a minute, I'll time it, and we'll get to describe what we see. Okay, so in this case here, we can see some sort of kitchen appliance. It has two buttons on it, a red and a green button. We can see that one of them is a power button and the other one indicates it's ready, and we describe details, the color, the size. Provide as much detail as you can. Your other option, instead of describing exactly what you see, you could describe something it reminds you of. Okay, guys? So either describe exactly what you see or describe something it reminds you of. I'll give each of you a minute, and you'll hear a sound at the end of the minute. I can't remember, oh, it's going to sound like this. So as soon as you hear this sound, just if you could finish what you're saying, and then we'll go on to the next student. If you have any questions about something someone's saying or what is being said or anything, type it in the group chat and I can answer you without interrupting the student who's currently speaking. I'm going to start with AMP. AMP, let me pick you an item first. I've loaded up a lot of new images here, and we're going to have a bit of a theme today. So, AMP, are you ready?
Yep.
Go ahead, please.
Well, in this picture, I can see 3 doctors, or probably 2 students, and the doctor, and they have in there an image, probably a tag or something, and there is explaining to the guy on the right side that probably is the teacher, and what is she is just looking at the results of the exam, and the other is just taking notes, writing down in a paper what they are saying. Both of them are wearing the bland white bronze and lab bronze, no, lab coat, and they have a stethoscope. How do you say?
I forgot, so what they call that, stethoscope. I was almost going to say it wrong, a stethoscope. I think that's what it's called.
Thank you.
All right, so very good, and you'll notice I wrote some things on the side there. So this thing that you see them holding up against, there's some sort of whiteboard there that shines light. It looks like an X-ray, or it could be an MRI, but usually it's the same. When you see that type of paper, it's usually some sort of an X-ray. Thank you very much, AMP. All right, Anna, you're up next, and let's see what I've got for you here. Something similar. I really got to start organizing these into dates. Where are all the ones I brought from today? They're all medical ones. Okay, I'm going to change this a little bit. And let's pick date modified today. All right, here we go. Let me just make that a little bigger. All right, Anna, could you describe this one, please?
Okay, in this picture I can see a machine that is measuring the brain waves, and there are other devices. 2 doctors are laying down close to a patient and checking something. It must be in the intensive unit, I guess. And maybe the person is within an inch of dying. Who knows? And this picture makes me think about the meaning of life, the meaning of life, and how people.
Thank you very much, Anna. So yeah, we see various monitors here. It looks like we were monitoring brain waves, heart rate. These type of doctors, I think these are what we call surgeons. Reason for that is at the top here we can see some special lights, and this is what we call an operating room, or we might even call it an operating theater. Yep, same as movie theater, only it was operating theater. Okay, so some different words there. Excellent, thank you very much, Anna. All right, Natasha, let's see what I've got for you here. Okay, so here we go. Now I'm finding all my images. Natasha, could you please go ahead and describe what you see here?
Yes, okay. But I have to do the same picture?
No, you can see a different picture there.
Okay. Is it?
Okay, you've got 40 seconds left.
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. On this picture, we can see maybe one doctor who examines the heart rock the old man. He is doing special exercises, and doctor examines his heart, and maybe he's inspired by special technical machine. It is a light room, big room, and in this room we see some different types of devices.
Thank you. Very well summarized. You actually did quite well. Now, probably what this doctor is testing the patient for, an elderly, well, I wouldn't say elderly, an older middle-aged gentleman, is heart. We could be doing an EKG, an ECG, or we could be testing his respiratory system. And respiratory is all about lungs and oxygen intake.
Okay, thank you.
So I think some people call them SATs as well. It's your oxygen saturation. Okay. So very good.
Thank you.
I don't know if you guys have noticed, but we seem to be focusing on a little bit of medical today. And what I'm trying to do is get us using some more medical terminology. We use this a lot in English, so I'm going to focus a little bit on that. Then we're going to go into tools. Tools we use to fix things in the house, and tools in the kitchen. We call these types of tools appliances. Okay? All right, so Raphael, let's see what image I've got for you. Okay, this one's slightly different, a little more challenging. I'm still going to give it to you because I know you're a very advanced student. So, Raphael, if you could please describe this image.
We can see some group of doctors. Maybe they're analyzing some sort of structure, or what seems to be a part, at least it's shaped as a brain. Maybe this is a kind of brain or structure, or maybe some sort of school. I don't know exactly how to describe it. They are analyzing the shape. Maybe it was created in using this some sort of 3D printer. Maybe they are trying to analyze just to understand the structure inside the skull. There's a woman taking some kind of notes, and maybe they're discussing some subject related with that, and she's taking some notes with a pen, and at the front of the image you see some sort of a school of a, and what else? They are analyzing it.
Very good. There's only one area you didn't quite catch up on. So yes, this environment here could very well be a school, because we see what appears to be two young students. We can tell that by the look of their skin, unless of course they're photoshopping a little bit. And the gentleman is made to look quite a bit older. So this could be an education environment. Or it could also be a research environment. As Raphael indicated, this could be medical research. institution, could be a school, could be somewhere else, or here's a word I added just recently, a pharmaceutical company. Okay, pharmaceutical companies do research on drugs, for example. So you take an aspirin or something like that, or they find drugs that can fix certain ailments or cure certain ailments. Could also be a drug company. Very good. Thank you, Raphael. Okay, and back to you. Let's see, what have we got now?
I think that is Mustafa's turn because he's back.
Mustafa, well, he's back. We lost somebody else, though, didn't we? Musical chairs today. All right, Mustafa, you didn't have a chance, did you?
No, I didn't have a chance.
All right. Well, let's see here. Do I have another medical one? I'll go back to the other view then. So I'm giving away all my images now. You guys are going to know what my images are. Oh, we don't want to look that scary. No, that's pretty well for those. Okay, so now we're going to go on to something a little more comforting, I guess, or fun, something about our youth. So Mustafa, we see this image here. Do you want to describe what you see, or perhaps a memory of these types of things? You've got a minute. Go ahead, please.
Okay, I see there are a lot of toys. I think it's like tools or for children. So if I see a lot of them, maybe it's like a shop or something like that. So they collect toys here around this area. By the way, I cannot like recognize each one of them. I think I see horses, a bunch of animals, statues, small statues, and small houses, made houses for children to play, and small cars also. So all of this like toys for children to enjoy the time.
Very good. What size are they? Are they big toys? Are they small toys? Colors?
Small.
What kind of colors do you see?
Small and pink, black, white, green, red, yellow, all of colors.
Okay, yeah. So very good. Yeah, and some words we might want to use here to describe. So when we talk about sizes, we can talk about, for example, this one in the middle here. It has many components to it, or pieces. There are lots of toys that have various pieces, and sometimes when you lose these pieces, the toys don't function very well. Yes, we see lots of reds, but we see various shades of red. We see dark reds, we see light reds, we see some pinks, we see some greens. Trying to use, instead of the basic words for describing here, we want to try to use words that are a bit more descriptive. Small green toys with many components would be better than just small toys. Thank you very much, Mustafa.
You're welcome.
All right, Amp, let's see what I've got for you here. This is perfect. All right, Amp, go ahead.
Well, it seems that it's a group of team that work for any car company, and this must be the new prototypes for any competition. They all of them seems to be Asia, and the cars look pretty modern, and it's like the one of the auspicious are the company from the gas station, the Shell, it seems, and the car have a peculiar shape, not the traditional, just the bigger one that it's 4 wheels, but the other it seems that they have just 3 maybe, and nobody it's on inside the car, but
Thank you very much. So they have 3 wheels. Normally we'll just say it's a 3-wheeled vehicle if it's 4-wheeled vehicle. Actually, if it has 4, generally we don't say anything, but yeah, 3-wheeled vehicle. So some vocabulary here to focus on is, I love the word prototype. That was terrific. This is also most likely a research and development effort by either a university or it's part of a company like Shell that is developing these technologies themselves, but most likely they're sponsoring an organization, such as a school, to develop these solar-powered electric cars. After all, if you're an oil company and people think of you as a polluting company, you're developing green technologies or sponsoring them, it certainly makes you look better in PR. And you talked about the shape, so a very important word here is aerodynamic. It allows it to slip through the air, right? To slip. So aerodynamic is used for cars or for planes where being aerodynamic is very important. All right, Mustafa, it's your turn again. I'm just going by the order that I have here, guys, so unless you accidentally leave the screen, or sorry, unless you get kicked out of class, I'm going to follow this particular order. All right, so next, Mustafa, if you could describe this image here.
Okay. I see a tool that it's like mechanic tools, and if I am correct, I think it's wrench, called wrench. I saw this tool used to tighten and maybe to open the bolt and something like that. So if, I think each one should have these tools. Also, like the car, like it can maybe it supports. It would help you if you bring this tool with you in the box when you drive in a car. Maybe you have something to tighten, and maybe your or something like that. So you have to use this tool to open the tire and something like this. So it's useful tool and mechanic tools. The color is gray to white, gray as far as I remember. The size not too large, they are small and thin, not too wide tool. So it's handy tool.
Very good. Yeah, and I love this kind of image because it's very simple, so it forces you to describe other things. So what we see here, the front is what we call an adjustable wrench because we can adjust it. Whereas this is the one on top is a fixed one, and the one below usually costs a bit more. So we would use these wrenches to either tighten or loosen things. Okay? Very good. All right, Natasha, you're up next, and let's see what I can come up with for you. Let's.
Okay.
I really have too many images here, but I don't want to delete them because they're all very useful. All right, so let me switch my views again.
Yeah.
Let's see. Ah, this one, I love it. So, could you describe this one for me?
Okay, on this picture we can see something created for maybe for having breakfast because in this on plate there are two pieces of bread, and one piece of bread are made in special devices which uses for making I forgot this. I'm sorry. It's hot bread, and these devices are from metallic or maybe plastic color plastic, and we also can see a cup of coffee. These cups are made from white ceramic, and it stay on something oval shape form.
Thank you. Yeah, we call this a toaster.
Toaster, yeah, I forgot.
That's okay. That's why I love having this class, right? So we have a toaster with toast, and now, forgive me for the rudeness written on that toast. It says "bite me," which is a way of just, it's a rather childish insult. It's nothing too offensive. Now, this is what I would call a retro-looking toaster.
Mm-hmm.
Does anybody know the style this is? I think of it in terms of Cuba or in terms of Art Deco, that's it, an Art Deco style. It's very retro. This is not a modern-looking toaster. And we have a little hot plate, and I think that's designed to keep the coffee hot. I don't know if it works. Vintage is another good word. Yes, Amp. Vintage means old, same as retro, but when I say Art Deco, that's a particular period. So if somebody thinks Art Deco, they think, oh, that's got to be the 1950s or 1940s, okay? Versus modern. All right, thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, so Natasha, you had your turn, so we're back to Raphael. I did notice that Adela has joined us, so Adela will be right after Raphael.
Hello.
Hello. Let me see. What can I get? Something really, I don't know, rugged or engineering-like. Let me see. What can I come up with for Raphael here? Oh, yeah. There we go. No, better still. There we go. Raphael, could you please describe, my apologies. There we go. That image, please. You've got a minute, Raphael. Raphael.
You can see a saw. It seems to be a motor saw. I don't know if it uses gasoline or kind of fuel it uses. Or maybe electric, I don't know. It seems to... It's from Hitachi. I believe it's a Japanese company, I don't know. And there are some... In the front of it, there are some buttons or switches to adjust the torque or the speed, I don't know, something like that. In front of it, there's some what seems to be some string or something to pull, maybe to start the engine. What else? It seems to be very handy and powerful saw.
Thank you very much. Yes, it would be a very powerful saw. This is a chainsaw. Now, I don't know if everybody's watching the chat, but you'll see as you're talking, I'll throw words out there so it's topical. And it's powered usually by gasoline and oil, although there are some electric ones that are not nearly as powerful. And as Raphael said, the electric ones don't have as much torque. And what is torque, Raphael?
It's the... We can explain that. It's the strength. I don't want to say the strength,
the rotational force.
The rotation, yes, rotational force.
Yeah. So torque is very important for things that turn. So this is a very powerful saw. Right at the front, there's a chain, but these chains have teeth on them. They're blades and they're sharp. It's used for cutting wood. You gotta be very careful with this. It's a very dangerous saw if you're not careful. All right, thank you very much. Hello, Adela.
Hello, Simon. I'm connected so late, sorry.
It's okay. I had a full class and I thought I've only got 4 students. But I'm glad you're here. It makes it a little more interesting, although some people are going like, I won't have as much talk time now.
Is describe or feeling? Describe.
It's describe. So as I said at the beginning of the class, students have a choice. You can literally describe what you see, or you can describe what you see in relation to an emotion or memory or how something makes you feel. So you could use this image to describe, I remember when I got an appliance, or I remember when the power went out, or something like that, okay? So go ahead, you have a minute, Adela.
Okay, I see 4 different appliances for a kitchen. Maybe 2 refrigerators. One is more complete because have a possibility to take ice in your glass. You can put the glass, have the ice, and after the others are maybe a dryer or a washer machine. and oven, cuisine and an oven. Are gray metallic, gray metallic, and I think can be an exposition of a shop.
Thank you. I'm not sure, but these most likely are chrome. I know it's a bad picture. It looks like they're painted gray, but most of the modern appliances today are chrome, although it could be a painted gray. So we have 4 appliances here. You mentioned there are 2 fridges. Now we don't say refrigerator. That's the full name. We just say fridges. The difference is, if you notice the one on the left, it has a bottom freezer. We all know that hot air rises and cold air sinks, so having the freezer in the bottom is usually very effective, whereas the other one is a larger double door with a ice and water attachment. Now, where am I getting that feedback from? Yeah, I'm going to try muting a few of you. Oh, Ruth, we've got some terrible feedback from you, so unless it's your turn to speak, I'm just going to ask if you can stay on mute, please. Right, so yes, we do have what looks like a washing machine, and this is a oven or a stove. We wouldn't say cuisine, that's French for kitchen. All right, terrific, Adela, thank you. Amp, now it's up to you, it's your turn. And let's see, let's go ahead with this one here. All right, go ahead, Amp.
Well, in this picture we can see a smaller kitchen appliances, like the blend in the middle of the picture, an oven, a toaster, and cafeteria. And this one is I don't know. The water is for mixing. The yellow one, that probably an aid. The brand, and the other is to cook the meat or the rice just slowly, and those most of them that are just in brown color, and the other that is have a plastic design with a color green, and the other just yellow. It's have the other there are the most smaller.
Thank you very much. Yeah, so here we have many or a multitude of single-purpose desktop appliances here, and I've listed a bunch of them. So we have mixers, like the yellow one, that's definitely a mixer. We have blenders. We have food processors, and generally a food processor is something that just chops up food into different slices or pieces. We also have, well, I said we have a juicer. It looks like we don't have a juicer. We have a coffee maker and a pressure cooker and a slow cooker, and all of these have single-purpose uses.
Pressure cooker or rice cooker?
Yeah, I can't tell from here. That could be a pressure cooker or a rice cooker. It looks, and now that I look at it, it looks like both. No, it's probably a rice cooker, because I would probably see some locking handles. I don't. So yeah, it's probably a rice cooker. Very good eye. All right, Mustafa, you're up next. Let's see what kind of image I can get for you. All right, so let's try something a little different. Let's go over here. Yeah, let's do this one here. All right, Mustafa, you've got a minute.
Okay, I see there is like 3 tools or 3 devices, and a stove or oven. It has oven, and this one we can like cook food on it or something like that. So prepare for preparing food. And the middle one is like refrigerator, I think, and has I think it's full with juices and other stuff related to eat and food and milk. I see a lot of things right there. The last one a toaster, I think. This is like a toaster, yeah. You just mentioned it. And by the way, the color is gray and contain like a black, and the stove button. By the refrigerator, a little bit large size, the large size, and it has meat, some kind of vegetable, maybe meat. Yeah.
Thank you. So a few more things we can just describe here. These are definitely stainless steel appliances, not devices. We see it's a 2-slice toaster. There are 4-slice toasters, and I'm sure there are probably even larger ones. This is designed for your standard sliced bread that you get at the store. The fridge is full of various types of beverages, fruits, and other dishes. We can see that the fridge has it's a double door, and inside the doors you're able to store large containers such as milk, as well as bottles and other items. Yeah, there's a lot of milk and juice in that fridge, and it looks like cakes and everything. So it's a large fridge for a large family, quite often measured in cubic feet or meters. The oven, this is what we would consider a gas top appliance or gas oven. We can see that it's got lots of dials on the front. It's got what looks like to be a grill or a fan down the middle, and a viewing area where you can see what's cooking. So thank you very much, Mustafa. Now, Natasha, as I cue up your image, what I want you to do is, when you look at the image, I want you to kind of describe the first thing that comes to mind when you see this image. Perhaps you can tell me a story or something that reminds you of. If not, then just describe what you see. So here we go. You've got a minute. Please go ahead, Natasha.
Yeah. Wow. Oh, it's so strange picture. I think that these devices can use man for building or repair something, or maybe yeah, maybe it's a builder, because we can see a belt from which is orange, has orange color, and a lot of pockets on them. In this pocket there are a lot of different kind of devices, and they are made from colorful plastic, and I don't know how I can name all these devices, but it's very strange for me, really. Wow. I don't know. I'm sorry.
That's okay, because whenever we see these kinds of utility belts or tool belts, we can kind of think of men, because men love tools, right? Or so that's what we believe. Another term we use is, for me, for example, I don't work in construction. If I had one of those, you would call me a handyman. It's kind of an old term. A lot of us my age and older still use it, but as you can tell by the name, it's got man at the end, and so if a woman had this, would you call her a handy woman? No, I think there's a more modern term for this. We can call it, for example, anybody working on the home, it would be home improvement, right?
Okay.
So there's various other words that people will use. So today, in some cases, like for chairman of the board, we wouldn't say chairman, we'd say chairperson. And sometimes we don't use handymans so much anymore. But yeah, you're right. Various tools. This person could be in construction, because we see a lot of the tools there for building houses, right? So very good.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, Raphael, what have I got for you here? Ha 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 ha. You know, Raphael, I don't often do this, but I'm going to give you something cool this time.
Okay.
All right. So, Raphael, here's your image again. Let's try to use some emotions here. So maybe tell me how this makes you feel, or how it reminds you of something similar. Go ahead, please, Raphael.
It reminds me that I have to take my car to repair, because it's broken, and but there's a lot of things I have to do on it, and I would like to have money to buy this car of the picture because it's very sport car. It's a muscle car, as Americans say, and it's very. I don't know. Maybe perhaps when I become rich, I would have a series of cars, different cars, just sports cars, just to collect, start my own collection of cars, because they are very beautiful, and I love the sound of the engine, and feel the speed, and it's awesome. Uh, Although our streets here, they are not very good to speed. There are a lot of holes on it. So,
Thank you very much. So yes, guys, this is what we call a muscle car. Wherever it's in the world, this is called a muscle car. It's a term developed in the United States, and it refers to cars that are what we consider a straight line car. It doesn't do a very good job of making turns, such as the European cars we think of as having the ability to make turns and corners. This car is all about raw speed. Okay, very good. All right, let's see who is up next. And is Adela still in the room? And yes, you are. So let's find Adela something. Now, I hate it when things like this happen. So, Adela, I'm going to give you the opportunity to describe this image here. Go ahead, please, or an event in your history.
I see on the picture a car after an accident. I think it's a big accident, an important accident. Maybe driver and passengers are injured because they have on the top all line is destroyed, and maybe when the accident was the driver drove so fast, or sometimes have had driven a lot hours.
Thank you. Yeah, it's kind of an interesting collision. We don't use the term accident anymore because accident implies nobody's at fault. More modern term is collision. When you hear collision, you don't know who's at fault, right? Collision. Here we see most of the damage to the front end of the vehicle. It almost looks as though it's driven straight into a wall. If it was a head-on collision, meaning two cars hitting the front, it's usually the damage is twisted to one side or focused more on one side of the vehicle.
Or can be the collision against a tree, for example.
No. If it was a tree, you would see a major indent into one area. You can kind of tell. Here it looks like it's just hit a solid object by the front end. Okay. Everything is crumpled up to the hood is crumpled, the engine area, the radiator, the front bumper. There's a lot of damage to this car. This car might be what we would quite often say as being totaled. That means insurance pays it out. You can't repair it.
It's not possible to repair.
No.
Okay.
Amp. Hello, Amp.
Yeah.
I'm going to stay on the same image. And the reason for that is I want you to, when you look at this image, tell me what comes to mind. How does it make you feel?
Well, generally after this situation, well, you here it's common that you try to call your insurance officer, the quickly that you can, because otherwise just the police officers just take your car and they take it to their place, and you have to pay for the time that the car is there until they both part are have to face in front of a lawyer or something. And so it's easier that if you try to have a deal with the other part in order to repair your car, and a kind of agreement, and then they have to see who is the guilty, how much you're going to pay.
Thank you. And actually, I was in an accident late last year, and I've actually got the video of it I could show you guys. Basically, a truck that just backed right into me, and I really didn't have a. Actually, I put it on YouTube. So it's, if you guys remind me at the end of class, which is not too far away, I could actually send you the link and you can watch it if you like. But yeah, stuff happens. Stuff happens. So yeah, you would call your insurance agent or the insurance company. The agent is generally the person. The company, of course, is the underwriter. Okay? And what do we mean by underwriter? Well, that's the company that is responsible for paying. That's it, the underwriter, the company responsible for paying. The car hit another. Yeah, so in Canada too, if you are involved, if you are backing out, then you're always at fault. If you rear end another car, generally the person with the front damage is the one who's automatically at fault, because their view is, doesn't matter what the other person was doing, you weren't paying attention or you were following too closely.
Yeah.
All right. Mustafa, let's see, I'll get you something different here. And now I'm just, it's going to be anything. It's going to be, let's pick this one here. All right. So we focused on appliances and tools and medical, and now I'm just going to pick any old image. So Mustafa, what's going on here?
I see like a person. He's an old person, and he's working on a report. As far as I think, there is a bunch of them right there. He's busy, has a maybe, and he has a lot of work to do. He has what's interesting, like he has a lot of pen hanging on his shirt, and he's wearing like a tool. I don't know. I forgot. A tie, I think. And he's wearing glasses, and he has black hair, and there is a bunch of boxes behind him, and he's sitting on a desk or a table, and there is a bunch of paper in front of him. He's wearing a watch. His shirt is gray color. He also, I see a bunch of white paper right there. I think he's looking at something, maybe someone calling him or asking him for doing something, for something to do.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it's actually taken from the movie Office Space. I would certainly hate to have this as my office location. It certainly looks very depressing. All right, so Raphael, oh my goodness. Oh, well, you know what? Sorry, Raphael, but this is your image. Maybe you can describe how it makes you feel. Let's go for the emotional here.
Well, I don't know. I think we must respect every trend, but I don't know. This guy is crazy. Having so many piercings in his head and his face. Look at his nose and his mouth. I don't know. I don't have much to say about this guy, you know, and it's something I would never do. Definitely, I don't like to live in. I don't like this kind of.
Well, what
art,
is this? What do we call this?
Body art. I don't know, piercing and.
Piercings, yeah. I mean, it could be body art, but it's generally piercings, like you getting an earring. Well, this is that to the nth degree, right? So, yeah, a lot of piercings. What else?
You might have implanted something in his forehead. It seems to be too. I don't know.
Yeah, implants. To me, I look at this and I think pain. That's what comes to mind. It's how I feel. It's like, Good Lord, man, you're hurting yourself. You're hurting yourself. All right, thank you very much, Raphael.
Thank you.
Well, guys, let me close this off for a bit now. And I want to do something a little different. So again, we're going to stay on that idea of describe what you see. Tomorrow night, I have a class coming up. It's called Conversation. Now, I've started doing this class because, well, I know most of you at the advanced level, you want to spend as much time as possible talking. You also want help with pronunciation. So my goal in this class is to have a similar setup that we have here. You have anywhere from 2 minutes to a minute to speak. Sometimes you're talking with me, sometimes you're talking with another student. And the whole purpose is, for this class is we'll think of things in the news. You know, how is what's going on today, for example. Oh yes, Greek, right? So it's big news happening in Greek. We could talk about that. Or maybe you don't want to. Maybe you want to talk about a home you're looking at buying or an apartment. We've spent the last couple of months having a lot of describe what you see classes with lots of vocabulary. And conversation is kind of that next step where we get to talk about things that are on our mind. And that's tomorrow. Most of the classes I'm going to be offering over the next couple of months are focusing on describe what you see. So again, you get to speak, practice vocabulary, practice descriptions, right? So not just single words, but multiple adjectives together to provide a better description. I'm also going to offer the game class. Now, I don't call it game class. I call it 20 questions and guess the price of the house. 20 questions is simply put, I might be thinking of a phone, and you guys have to work together to guess the item. So again, it uses vocabulary, it uses conversation skills, but it also uses your listening skills. You have to listen to what others are saying. Okay? And guess the price of the house. The whole purpose of that part of the class is houses, numbers. You all know how to count to 10, to 20, to 100. But when we're looking at buying houses, we're dealing with very large numbers. We're dealing with anywhere from 5 figures up to 7 figures. And I've noticed a lot of my students have trouble with larger numbers, so this gets you into the practice of using those large numbers. Okay? So what I want to do now is, for the next couple of minutes, I want to give you each, again, about a minute to discuss anything you want to do. And now you can ask me questions during that minute. It's completely up to you. This time I'm going to start with Raphael. So Raphael, you've got a minute. You can talk about anything, or you can ask me questions about any subject. Go ahead.
As you might know, I'm planning to take the IELTS test prior to the end of the year. And do you have some tips to give me?
That's a good question. I don't have a lot of tips because I've never had to take it. It's a very different perspective. I would suggest talking to experts, people who teach it, and other students that have taken it. I mean, I know what you need to have in terms of knowledge to pass it, but in terms of what it's like, I don't know. I've never taken it. Obviously, you need to have a good grasp of vocabulary. You need to be able to write. You need to have really good grammar at like a grade 12 or grade 8 level, but the specifics, I can't help you with that. It's not my area of expertise.
It's okay. No problem.
All right? But yeah, I know that stuff is very, very important, so it's a good idea to bring up. But with me, I can't really talk too much to it. All right, we've lost one student, so that gives you guys more time. Amp, I'll give you a minute. What would you like to talk about? $50 seconds. Amp? All right, I don't know why I don't hear Amp there, or she doesn't hear me. It might be on mute. I don't know. Adela, hello, Adela.
Yes, hello. Is
Hi.
it follow the marriage same people, same gender in Canada?
Sorry, I didn't quite understand.
I ask about is possible to marriage with people same gender in
Oh,
Canada?
marriage.
Marriage.
Um, I don't know when it happened, but I know at least in my province it's legal for same-sex marriages, and I believe it's countrywide. So yeah, men can marry men, women can marry women in Canada. Same in the United States.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, it was in Canada before the U.S. All right, Am, can you hear me now? Can you talk?
Yes. I don't know what happened with the Hangout.
Excellent. Well, Adela only used up 55 seconds, so I'll give you a minute, and then I think we'll have time for 2 minutes each. So what would you like to talk about? Am?
Well, yes, after this resolution in the United States, what do you think that is coming after that?
I don't know. I mean, it might sound callous for me to say this, but I don't care. If I was gay, then yes, this would probably be something very important to me. But because I'm not, it doesn't affect me. I'm married.
You think that it doesn't affect you? What is it your daughter is just growing now in this new society? What if when she grow up, she's going to be a little confused? What is the normal? What is the natural way to
Well,
get married?
okay, that's a lot of speculation, right? So I have a son, and when he gets older, that's something that might affect him or not. But for me right now, it doesn't affect me, and that's not a callous thing. It's just a fact. Now, if my son is heterosexual, meaning that he likes women, that won't affect me either because the laws are there. And if he's gay, it won't affect him because, again, the laws are there, right? So. Time is up. If you want, I'm going to give you each of you another minute, and if you want, I'll give you a minute now. And if you want to keep talking about this, you can. So, do you want to keep talking about it?
Yes, for me it's okay. Yes,
Okay.
I have my own point of view because of my religion, and because of that, I think God created us just male and female, and that is the way that the population is going to increase. In you have the same sex marriage, how the population is going to grow up.
Yeah, it's interesting. The one thing about countries that follow what we call democracies is, as a consensus, we try to pass laws that we feel are best for everybody, and not everybody agrees all the time. I know in Canada, when they were looking at passing it, there was the same discussion brought up. And one thing they said is, based on religious, if you don't want to condone or support the marriage of homosexuals, you don't have to. But yes, I do understand that there is that sense of religious freedom in that regard. Time is up. We're going to go to Raphael and then Adela. Raphael, I love this, such great conversation here. No, and that's the whole purpose of this class, is so we can talk about things that are important to us in English. All right?
Yes, I understand. There's a lot of discussion about this subject here in Brazil as well, because I believe that country they're trying to legalize the marriage between people of the same gender, and I don't know. I'm heterosexual. So I do, at least at this moment it doesn't affect for me either. But it's a very topic issue, because it's a very difficult issue, because how can you raise your children, and how values will you teach? Are you going to teach your children to what is right or wrong? So it's I don't know. That might be one of the reasons I don't like to have children. I don't have plans to have children in the future, because the world has changed a lot, and it's hard to control all these trends.
I think that's a bit of a cop-out. If you're going to let one decision determine whether you have children or not, I think you might need to think, do you really want children? I don't have talk time, so I can't say anything. And Adela, we've got a minute left, and I'll let you go ahead. And then if there's time, I'll give my opinion. Go ahead, Adela. You've got a minute. What are you thinking?
Sorry, about the
Anything.
the
Anything. You don't have to stay on the issue. You can go on to something else.
About, for example, the marriage, gay or lesbian. In Spain is legal 6 years ago. Can adopt children, and I think first was a little shocking for people, but nowadays is normal. Is all people think is a good idea, a good law in this moment. I think for me, yes. I think they are different families. It's not one family.
Thank you very much. Time's up, and I'll give you my